Today we're going to talk about stem changing verbs and after that direct object pronouns. Starting out with stem changing verbs. We know in Spanish and English verbs change depending on subject. Of course we know that is conjugating a verb. When a verb is unconjugated, it is the infinitive form. The infinitive forms always end in AR, ER, or IR verb. That's how we can identify them. An example of an AR verb, for example, is llevar, and to conjugate we know our endings are o, as, a, amos, ais, and ad. So for example, yo llevo, tú llevas, I wear, you wear, él, ella, usted lleva, he, she, or you wear, nosotros llevamos, vosotros lleváis, and ellos, ellas, ustedes llevan. Nothing new there. Stems, or los raíces, are created when we remove that AR ending. What is left is called the stem. When we want to have a stem changer, what that stem is going to do is obviously change, or un cambio de raíz is a change of stem. This means that the stem must change as well as the ending in everything but the nosotros and vosotros forms. For example, if we look at the verb querer and we took off its ending, leaving the normal stem, what we need to do is identify this as an E to IE stem change. So, what the E is going to do in the infinitive form is change to IE. And this is going to happen in all of the forms except the nosotros and vosotros form. For example, querer conjugates as such. Quiero, quieres, quiere, queremos, queréis, and quieren. Notice how quiero, quieres, quiere, and quieren all have the E to IE stem change, but the nosotros form does not insert an I, nor does the vosotros form. The shape of what happens here is known as a boot. You can see by circling the verbs that have the stem change, we essentially create what looks like a boot. And for that reason, we call them boot verbs, because they change in everything except the nosotros and vosotros. Entender is another example of an E to IE stem changing verb. The central E in entender is going to change to an IE in the boot. So instead of entendo, it becomes entiendo, entiendes, entiende, entendemos, entendes, and entienden, where outside of the boot the stem change does not happen, and inside the boot there's an E to I stem change. Notice how we still just conjugate as normal for an ER verb, o, es, e, amos, es, and en. Other verbs that follow the same pattern, pensar, yo pienso, tú piensas, él, ella, usted piensa, nosotros pensamos, vosotros pensáis, no stem change, and then finally, ellos, ellas, ustedes piensan. Empezar will do the same, empiezo, empiezas, empieza, empezamos, empezáis, and empiezan. Cerrar, which means to close, cierro, cierras, cierra, cerramos, cerráis, outside the boot, and cierran, inside the boot. Preferir, make sure that you know to change the second E, or the one closest to the end of the stem. Yo prefiero, prefieres, prefiere, preferimos, preferís, and prefieren. And then finally, perder, which means to lose. Yo pierdo, tú pierdes, pierde, perdemos, perdes, and pierdan. Moving on to direct objects and direct object pronouns, which is the ultimate goal. We're going to first need to start with locating what direct objects are, or deciding what direct objects are and locating them in sentences. Direct objects receive the action of the verb in the sentence. A direct object answers the question, who or what receives the action of the verb. Direct objects can be a person or a thing. So for example, in this sentence, I see the teacher. Who do I see? That's the teacher. So what is the verb acting on? Who am I seeing? The teacher. And the teacher is the direct object in the sentence, while I am the subject. I have the homework. I am the subject. I am having something. What do I have? The homework. So in those two examples, the homework and the teacher are the direct object nouns in the sentence. Notice how the teacher is a person and the homework is a thing. So direct objects, again, can be people or things. In your activity packet, you can see examples of sentences. What does Miguel want? His shirt. That is the direct object. What am I wearing? Pants. What do the students buy? Shoes. What do we prefer? The color blue. What are you wearing? Socks. Those are all the things that are being acted on in those sentences. In Spanish, you can see Miguel quiere su camisa. What does Miguel want? Su camisa. Llevo pantalones. I am wearing pants. Que llevo? Pantalones. The students buy shoes. Los zapatos. Preferimos el color azul. What do we prefer? And llevas calcetines. Notice how the direct object noun, just like in English, comes directly after the conjugated verb, where the blue circle comes exactly after what you conjugate. So, a direct object pronoun, or a DOP, you'll sometimes hear me call it, a DOP, or an objeto directo, can be used to replace direct object nouns. Pronouns, by definition, replace nouns. The direct object pronouns, which are going to replace the direct object nouns, are as follows. Me, te, lo, la, nos, os, los, and las. If we're going to change these direct object nouns, most of which are clothing, to their direct object pronouns, it's very simple. For example, las camisas, according to our chart, me, te, lo, la, nos, os, los, las, is obviously going to become las. El vestido becomes lo. Las gafas de sol, las. Los calcetines, los. El gorro, lo. La ropa, la. El guante, lo. Los pantalones cortos, los. El sombrero, lo. And la blusa y los tenis, because there is one masculine noun and it is plural, is going to be los. So as you can see, most of the definite articles serve as the direct object pronouns, except for the masculine singular el, which will change to lo. So, if we were going to use them, direct object nouns are placed after the conjugated verb, like we talked about. For example, quiero la camisa azul, I want the blue shirt, where la camisa azul comes after the word quiero. When we replace the nouns with the pronouns, we are going to put them before the conjugated verb. So if we take la camisa and we replace it with la, we are going to put it before the quiero. So la quiero. And this will translate to I want it. So we're really just shortening our speech and making it a little bit more efficient. But instead of saying, do you want the blue shirt? Yes, I want the blue shirt. We can say, yes, I want it, and refer to it very quickly. Where you can see that the la camisa is replaced by the word la. Once you write the word la, you do not need to, and you should not, put the phrase la camisa azul afterwards. That would be saying like, I want it, the blue shirt. Just la quiero. Placing an infinitive after a conjugated verb is acceptable. This is just slightly a tangent, but it'll make sense in just a second. Quiero comprar una blusa is I want to buy a blouse. Whenever you conjugate one verb, for example, quiero, the following verb, whatever it might be, whether I want to buy, I want to wear, you do not have to conjugate the second verb. Comprar does not conjugate. So for example, some students will write quiero compro, but that would be like saying I want I buy a blouse. And we just want to say quiero comprar. I prefer to wear, prefiero llevar. Notice how llevar is not conjugated. So, when you have infinitives after conjugated verbs and you would like to use a direct object pronoun, the direct object pronoun has options now. You can put it before the conjugated verb, like always, or you can attach it to the infinitive. For example, if you have yo quiero comprar los zapatos, I want to buy the shoes, and you wanted to shorten it to I want to buy them, you change the word los zapatos to los, and you can put it before the conjugated verb, as in yo los quiero comprar, or quiero comprarlos, and it's just attached as one word. So you do have two options. I recommend putting it out in front. That'll make more sense later on and in Spanish too, so you avoid accent trouble. But before is always an option and usually a safe option, just because the rules stay consistent.